It has been so long. Y'all can see Demi's face because that's how I started this podcast recording today. And her face is like, bitch, what the fuck?
It was just so random. I thought you were gonna start saying some shit, but instead you're like, "Wow." I'm like, "Okay, you good?"
Yeah, I'm just so excited to be here. It's been, I don't know, like 2 weeks since we released.
Yeah, it's probably
Um,
been 2 weeks.
yeah, summertime is hard, y'all. But we're out here and we're
We
happy to
try to
be
be.
back
Yeah,
at Diagnose Bravo. I am Maury.
and Demi.
And today we're going to talk things. We're going to talk many things, specifically Vanderpump Villa, because
Hmm.
we've been wanting to talk about this for a bit. We watched the entire series and the reunion, and I have thoughts. Demi has thoughts.
Before we get into those thoughts, last week we watched the end of The Valley, and
Mhm.
I told Maury at that time that I was gonna issue a public apology to our girl Brittany. So this is me issuing a public apology to Brittany because, girl, you done got your balls off the shelf and put them back on. And I love this for you. Like, I love this for you. And I've been out here peeping you on the Instagram, and I see how you're out here living your best life. And I love this for you. Again, talk a lot of shit. I'm a Gemini, but it's not like I never had sympathy for her. It was just, I didn't enjoy the way that she went about things, knowing how this man deeply hurt her in so many fucking ways. But I recognize that when you're in a relationship that is toxic, that it can be hard to get out of it and all these kinds of other stuff. Whoopty whoopty whoop. What I will say is I love how she finally stood up for herself. I love how she recognizes the manipulation and the toxicity. I love how she brings the receipts because one of the common complaints that me and Maury had is that, bitch, we know that the receipts are out there. We know that these text messages are out there. We know that there's some sort of recording of these conversations. He's gaslighting you in front of the TV. Stop letting him gaslight you. Stop letting him pretend like this shit never actually happened when it has. And when she was out here pulling up the messages, when she was out here talking about, you're only talking about going to therapy because the cameras are here, I was like,
Yes.
brava. Nothing, no notes. Nothing is left to be said. There are no notes. I have no notes. I have nothing to complain about because you did the shit, bitch. This is what I've been waiting for you to bring the receipts, for you to tell him about himself, and for you to finally prove that you recognize how much of an asshole this man is. We didn't need to be proven that. We knew he was a dick. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't know whether or not you knew he was a dick. And you're finally saying, I, Brittany Cartwright, know that this motherfucker over here is a dick. And I like that. And so therefore, I issue my public apology. I highly doubt this lady's ever gonna hear it. I highly doubt that she actually gives a fuck about my apology. But all the shit that I was talking about 2 weeks ago, I take it back.
Well, you know what makes a big difference too? Um, the way that she acted was in protection of Jax, which was her family. So she was protecting her family from this point of view that we all already knew. So there was no need for the protection. But I think it took Jax in the Valley this season not protecting his family by calling her an alcoholic at every scene possible, by making him seem like he's a stressed dad doing all of these things by himself, and by shitting on her the entire season. So if she's protecting him and he's not protecting her, fuck am I in this for?
Right.
So I think it took a bit of Jax doing that a little too much, a little too often, a little too much in front of the cameras for her to be like, I should stop here. Because the thing is, she's always known she just wanted to protect. Now, no more protecting. And I like that for her because the person that she wasn't protecting while she was protecting Jack was herself,
And her
leaving
son.
herself. Yeah, and her son.
And her son. Because one day, and I feel like these people tend to forget this, one day your child is going to get on the internet. What's the internet? One day your child's buddies is going to send this shit to them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
heh heh heh, look at what your mama did on the internet. Heh heh heh. I'm sure that some of these kids whose parents' sex tape is on the internet gets their sex tape sent to them quite often. And sometimes it's leaked and it's not their parents' fault and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, it's like when you're in these positions of accessibility to the public and you have kids, there's a certain amount of things that you can control. There's a certain amount of things that you can't control. There's some things that happened when you were young and you were dumb and you didn't know any better. And this was before you were famous and whatever. But it's like you have these very public conversations bashing your spouse, bashing the mother or the father of your kids. Your children is going to see this someday and is either going to judge the parent that you bashed or is going to judge you and ask you, why did you not protect my parent? Why were you on this TV show calling my mother a whore or calling my mother an alcoholic or calling my mother this, that, and the third for everyone to fucking see while in the same breath telling her how much you loved her and how much you loved me? Why weren't you there to protect us? Why were you the one that was tearing us down? Your kid is going to see that. And either your kid is going to internalize that information and bash that parent with you, or they're going to internalize that information and not fuck with you anymore. But
Yep.
either way, you know your kid doesn't have a good relationship with either one of their parents, either or both. So why would you even do that shit?
Understand. And I don't blame the Bravo parents that don't show their kids on TV because I think about what's her face? Teresa Judice, her daughter with the
Gia?
pretty damn Gia, yeah, because she got a lot of daughters. Gia, yes.
She has
But
daughters,
she
girl.
only
She has
has
like
daughters.
four of them. I think like 4 or 5 daughters.
There's a lot of
Like,
kids and all of them are females.
bro,
Gia made a post on Instagram and then it was like, oh, all the people that I love and trust, something along those lines in the caption. And then everyone in the comments was either, oh, I'm so happy for you, or how come your aunt is in the picture? She should matter to you, or some like agenda that was Teresa's, or people were judging Gia and calling her Teresa by not fucking with Melissa. He's like, you see, and this is she's a mini Teresa because Melissa's not in this picture. Like it was like stuff like that. Like your children are out here it as much on TV as you are, as much awareness as you are. Like you're out there. Spotlight's on your family, not just on you. So I don't even blame those parents that don't put their kids on TV because
yeah.
who wants to put them through that? Can't do it.
Like, and I think that this goes into like a bigger conversation about children labor laws and how and should children be allowed to be
Mm,
portrayed on TVs? Should children be allowed to be portrayed on YouTube videos? Like we've caught up to TV and movie and commercials and all this other stuff, but who's protecting these reality star kids? Who's
mm,
protecting these YouTube kids? I could talk ad nauseum about the YouTube kids and how I do not feel like they should be allowed to be portrayed on YouTube. There's a lot of fucking crazy parents out here who exploit the fact that they've had children who put these poor kids on the internet who's only doing what their parents want them to do because it's their parents and they're supposed to be their first line of fucking defense. They're supposed to be the people who protect them the most. And these are the very same people who are out here exploiting their kids. Gone are the days of the managers, the creepy managers. Gone are the days are of the creepy producers. Now it's the creepy fucking parents who are out here putting their fucking kids on the internet and exploiting their tears and exploiting their cuteness because you think that it's going to get you more fucking money. Protect your fucking kids. Protect your
yep,
kids.
yep,
Keep them away from these things. Keep them away from these people. Keep them away from the audience who is going to eviscerate them because humanity is disgusting.
yeah.
Stop it.
We don't want to see it.
Stop it.
I'll take a picture of your kid on Instagram and that's all I need. And a bit tangential, but it just reminds me of those parents that got that got tried because the pranks, quote unquote, that they were putting on their children was children abuse. Not to laugh,
Yes.
it's not funny, but like, why the fuck did you think this was the idea? Your children didn't consent to it. Your pranks were harsh and made your children cry, and you put it on YouTube for views and money. That's not acceptable. And there's not much in place. Like reality TV does not have a space to protect the people that are on there, let alone the
No.
people that are casualties of the people they contracted. Like,
Mm-mm.
it's a hard time. And again, more tangent because reality TV can be a bad guy. I call it the Bravo curse because families break apart, families have a lot of tension, friendships have a lot of tension. But like even the reality TV show, whatchamacallit, what's that name? Love is Blind
Oh
has
yeah.
that union thing developing because they weren't given any food. They only had alcohol for beverages. They weren't properly taken
No
care
mental
of.
health support
No mental
whatsoever.
health support. Some people didn't have their meds, long hours, but not enough pay, like stuff like that. And that's still happening today. So to put your
And that's just
children
with adults.
exactly,
Like,
exactly. And now I don't know how Bravo I know that people get paid very well on Bravo, but it's also about benefits and it's also about your life. Because granted, your life is supposed to be on TV, but your children didn't consent to this. A 5-year-old cannot consent to that. So for kids like Gia to grow up in Bravo, she knows the in and outs. She has been in here, and that wasn't by her
and to
choice.
have her most embarrassing moments broadcasted on TV and it and for it to be in syndicate forever
Yep.
because I'm sure to this day her crying with that fucking song, especially when it went viral not that long ago and everybody started putting that shit on TikTok, I'm sure that she does not have the greatest feelings about that.
Yeah, it's
Like that's
cringe.
embarrassing as fuck. And although like at the time it was fucking funny because when I watched it I must have been like a teenager or so when I watched it when it aired the first time, and I was like, "Now she crying on national TV." That shit was funny. And when everyone was making TikTok videos about that shit, yeah, that shit was funny again. But when you really think about it, this was a young woman who wasn't even maybe barely in her teens at the time, who was having legitimate feelings about something that hurt her deeply, her family, and that moment was exploited on television for people to laugh at for generations to come. That's weird
Very
that
weird.
nobody thought that this was a bad idea.
And Teresa pushed her to do that too, because she kept
Oh, she
saying, like, oh,
definitely did.
sing the song, or she has a song for you, or something like that.
Oh, she definitely
And
did.
like
That lady's manipulative as fuck.
weaponized her children in this show. And that's how they grew up. It's so unfortunate. So if your kids ain't got to be in here, don't put them in there.
Mhm.
Um, like you can, no one's saying not to have a family, but recognize what you're signing up for, bro. Because when you're with Jax, everyone knows how Jax is. And now you have a child with Jax. And then the thing for me was we all saw this marriage not pulling together very well. And Brittany asking for a second child, and that second child was not going to save that marriage. And I'm happy that she
No,
decided to separate from him because if it went in that direction, it would have been another child, another unfortunate casualty in a very disastrous marriage
it
with
could
a
have been
very toxic
worse.
man.
Yeah, you do not
So,
have children when your marriage is struggling in that way because the only
awesome.
thing that's going to do is breed resentment and heartache for that kid. Like
Yeah,
that's it. And
it's kind of what it is.
some people need to do what they have to do. Like I understand like money and stuff like that, but my whole thing is just protect your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like protect your kids. I can't say that. I mean, I would never do reality TV show. I'm too private for that, and my mental health would not be able to withstand people on the internet trolling me. But I understand like if you're a family and you got mad kids and you need to go on this reality show to make money for your kids, like if that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. But protect your kids. They are not cash cows. Protect your fucking kids.
And that's
Don't
why I
show
like
your
what Brittany did. Because when Brittany started talking about outwardly, because you've never seen her talk about how Jax is in front of Cruz.
yeah,
And when she was like, one night he came home bashfully drunk, yelling at her for hours in front of their son. She's like, I took my son and I left. And that's what's important
yeah,
because you protected your child in that moment. And that's what a
yeah.
mother does. That's what she did for herself. And that's what her family needed. That was the protection she needed, not protecting Jax. So the fact that she did that, I was like, Amen, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yes. Protect your
Don't
kids.
need it.
Protect your kids. The money is not worth it. The notoriety is not worth it. Protect your fucking kids at the end of the day. Just protect the fucking kids. It's not that hard. Protect them. Protect them from yourself. Sometimes it's important to protect your kids from yourself. Protect your fucking kids.
Mm-hmm. Jax needs that advice. Protect the kid from yourself.
Protect your kids from yourself, bro.
Because it's just him sobbing, I need therapy. Like, sir, we've
And
been
then
watching
not
you,
going to therapy.
right? We've been watching on TV for what, 10, 15 years now? 10 years at least? How long you been
Yes.
saying you need therapy? We
Forever,
know this.
every season. And
Every
then every time he's like, yeah, everyone knows that therapy doesn't work for me. And then an episode later, I need to go to therapy. My guy,
do
either
better.
go to therapy or not go to therapy. That man is just so. I have no words.
So I have a question for you, tying into our actual topic of today,
Oh,
being the
yeah.
Vanderpump Villa. Who is worse, Marciano or Jax?
Oh, damn. I, damn. I don't know. Because for some reason, Jax, I think Marciano has the ability to become Jax, but Jax is just so entertaining to me. Marciano is just not entertaining.
Mm.
Like he is a dick, and it's like I just fucking hate you. Why are you on my screen? Whether it's like Jax, at least in Vanderpump Rules, much less so during the Valley, but during Vanderpump Rules, Jax was just so fucking hilarious. Like he was a dick, but it's like he's fucking funny.
Yeah, he has the idiot charm.
Yes. And so with Jax, it's like, yeah, he's doing all this shit, but like he's just so fucking hilarious. And what really killed that for me is when he got into this relationship with Brittany and they started to have kids with each other. And it's like, okay, it was funny when you were like fucking around and like doing horrible things, like cheating on people. It's a lot less funny when you're like actually damaging this human being and fucking up your son. Like that's just not as entertaining anymore. But like Marciano is just, ugh, I don't like him. I don't like his girlfriend. I
Oh,
think they're
his
both
girlfriend
just,
is bad.
well, they're just both so not great in so many ways. In so many ways. Like,
Bad.
what's the girlfriend's name? She's such a
Hannah.
pick me. Hannah. Hannah's
Okay.
such a pick me, bro.
Lord Jesus, Hannah.
Oh,
I don't even
Jesus.
know if pick me is the right word. I think it's mean girl because I feel like
Porque no los dos.
she could be both, yeah, because she's trying to attract the audience that she feels is her vibe, and it's not a good vibe, and that vibe is mean. I feel like Hannah would be the mean girl that gets all the other girls to follow because all the other girls are pick me's. Like she could very much be mean girl cult leader and not in a great way, but it's fueled by her level of insecurities. And that's what's like shown throughout the whole show, her insecurity. And I love Lisa Vanderpump for how she calls people out because not only
Yeah.
does she like say, hey, here's your vice or your flaw, you are not that. That doesn't define you. This is who you should be or how you should act because I see the good in you. And I feel like she does that with everybody. The person I didn't see her do it with is Jax. Like she took Jax as he is. He was like, listen, sir, you suck.
Who you talking about?
Lisa. Because you ever realize whenever she interacts with Jax, she like takes him as it is. Like she never tries to school him or say, hey,
Oh,
you're
because she
better
knew
than
better
this.
than that. Yeah, she knew
Right.
that he wasn't gonna grow from that.
Right. She tried to do that with Hannah. I saw some redeemable moments for Hannah, but I still can't like
Did you?
Hannah. So
I
only
saw
in the
none
office
of
with
that woman.
Lisa. Outside of Lisa's office,
Well, yeah, because she's
she's the
kissing
same
ass.
person. Well, yeah. Yeah, but you know the
I mean,
tears.
fake it till you make it. Hello. There
Honestly,
were
I
no
would too if
redeemable
I was in
qualities with that
Paris.
woman.
If I was in Paris and I had to cry in Lisa's office to keep my job, I would do it. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like Marciano and Hannah, I hope they don't come back
Or a match
because
made in heaven and a
facts,
match made in hell.
facts, they're meant for each other. I just hope they don't come back because they were not entertaining whatsoever.
No.
Marciano was a kiss ass, who treated Hannah like shit and
Like
then
horribly. Horribly like
publicly.
shit.
And then while she's out here defending her man, knowing that she shouldn't, but she does, he's out here making out with guests,
Bro. Giving
making
people
out.
massages.
Massage. No, I think that was Eric that was doing the massage.
Oh, wasn't both of them?
It might have been both. I
I
don't
don't
remember
know.
now.
Somebody was giving somebody massages and it was weird.
Eric wasn't good either.
I
Eric was
would
a hoe.
have and listen, I would have I would dislike Hannah more or less if she didn't take all her anger out on the wrong people. The
Yeah,
way that she came at people was just so bizarre to me because there was Priscilla. The first one was Priscilla, where
poor
her open
Priscilla.
leg. First off, she was wearing a skirt. I don't give a fuck. My legs are gonna be the way that they want to be. Now, mind you, if I'm not wearing any panties, which doesn't happen, or if I'm not wearing shorts or anything like that, just because that's how I like to carry myself, like my legs are not going to be open, not just in front of men, but just in front of people in general. But best believe if I'm lounge out on a couch and I'm wearing shorts, my legs are doing what my legs want to do, which is to be open, which is to be free, because that's just how I like to be comfortable in my place, in
Right,
my space. You know what I mean? Maybe not in other people's spaces, but in my house, that's what the fuck I'm doing and that's where they lived. So that's what the fuck she decided to do. And all she could have said was, "Hey, it makes me uncomfortable that your legs are open and you sitting right next to my man." I would have been like, "Bitch, fuck you and fuck your man." But if that's how you came to me in a respectful way, I would have been like, "You know what? I still think that's bullshit. But if that really makes you uncomfortable, I'm gonna sit a different way." Do I think that Priscilla was wrong in any way? Absolutely not. But let's pretend that she was. But this girl was like, "Cause you want my man and whoopty whoopty woo and and it was just like, girl, how
nobody
did
wants
we
him.
get here? I'm not even remotely even. She wasn't even paying attention to Marciano. She was doing her own thing in her
Yeah,
own
wasn't she on her
bubble.
like her phone or something?
Yes.
She was
And
minding her
Hannah lost
business.
her shit and then got mad at Priscilla for defending herself.
Because like, and not to like dive in the mind of the crazy, but she saw her, she thought about her insecurities with Marciano and how Marciano will fuck anything that moves. And that was an open opportunity. So attack the open opportunity, even though there was no interaction. That's what went through her mind. And that's what Lisa calls out on her. She's like, you don't need to be this insecure over some dick. Like, this is unnecessary. First of all, you're at work. All right. This is not the first person that you attack. You attack everybody. You attack Priscilla. You attack the new chick that was there for only a couple episodes. I forgot what her
Bro,
name was, but she was out here being mean
I
as
don't know what
fuck.
her name was either.
Yeah, we have the cast list drawn up here, y'all, but from Hulu, but it didn't include the new chick, and now we forgot her
Oh
name.
damn, what was her name?
She
We'll
was
just
really
call her New
pretty.
Chick. She was
New
really
chick.
pretty. She was very bizarre though. The way that she just started crying and shit. She was like, it's
Well,
jet lag.
yeah, I think that she was trying to protect her feelings. Like one, that
She
jet lag
was.
definitely it, but two, like you come down, you're excited, you're here for Lisa Vanderpump's fucking villa and Petty, and then you come and there's this bitch yelling at you for hours for no
Bro,
reason,
so long.
other
And
than
then
the
didn't
fact that she's
someone tell her
insecure.
that they didn't need her? I think it was Marciano who was
Yes,
like, we don't
Marciano was
need you.
doing
Why
that.
are you here?
Yes, he
No,
was doing that to show Hannah that he didn't care about the new chick. And this is why they shouldn't
weird.
come back because you're a lead server, one, so you're in a position of power versus server being Hannah. And now you are bullying the new person that comes in. This is not the way that employment should work. And that's something that like Lisa talks about too on the reunion. Like she said when she rewatched, she saw these things that she
Hmm.
did not pick up because she wasn't in the quarters with them. And it
Yeah.
made her question who she wants to bring back.
Hmm.
Or if people come back, how it should go moving forward, which I
Yeah.
can respect because while the tea is good, nobody deserves to cry on their first day all because of some relationship issues that she didn't even know about
That
before
have
she got
nothing to
there.
do with you, bro.
Somebody
I
should have
just
gave her the
came off
down
the
low.
jet plane.
Right. Someone should have been like, listen, hear me out. These are people that you haven't seen. They have a lot of drama going on, as you can expect. Stay away from these two. Like someone should have pulled her inside and said, yo, there's some tea in here. Like I would actually expect that from Emily because Emily
Yeah.
held her ground. I really, really liked Emily. I
Yeah.
don't even give a
Emily was
fuck.
a sweetheart.
She was. I don't even care that she tried to take Telly's job. Like she was doing what she wanted. She's a bitch about her money, and I like a bitch about her money.
That shit was really funny. She was like, "Yeah, I tried to take
And
your job, and what?" I was like, "Oh, not a backbone, Emily." And it's not
yes.
that I didn't think that she had a backbone, but she was just so quiet. I was like, "Oh, Emily's a little feisty."
She had her eye on the prize. Money, not
Said,
pussy
"I'm
and
gonna
dick
take
all
this
throughout here.
man." Well, no, because she was trying to get with Eric.
That's
She was
true.
like,
That
"I'm
is
gonna take
true.
this man, and I'm gonna take this money."
Even then, she was doing that with like her head down. Like she wasn't boasting about the things that she did with Eric with other people. She was just in her own world, minding her business, doing her job, and making friends. And that's what I liked about it.
Yeah,
Like there was still drama, but not an overwhelming amount compared to like Hannah Marciano, who I
yeah.
really, really liked, who I thought was cute. Anthony, the chef, the French chef.
Oh,
My
the French
God,
chef. He was such a sweetheart. He
such a
didn't bother
sweetheart,
nobody. He just wanted to cook his little snacky snacks and his little meals and whatnot, and just do the best job that a French chef can do.
right? And when he got
And
his
they
second
wouldn't let him.
bonus, they wouldn't. They put him through the through hoops.
The
He's like
ringer.
minding his business, and they out here trying to tell him to run his kitchen.
Marciano was trying to tell him how to run his kitchen,
I loved when Lisa put him to do dishes.
right?
That
That
was
shit
my
was fucking
shit.
funny.
I was like, yes, make him do these dishes because he was talking mad shit about chef. You don't even understand how to make spotted dick. So, so
Not
don't.
spotted dick.
That was on the menu. So wash the dishes, comma nigga, and that's what happened.
I'm crying.
I was here for
Oh
it.
my god.
I was here
He
for it.
said the spotted dick.
Yeah, that's the only dish I can
Oh.
actually remember.
Of course you remember the spotted dick out of all of the things that he made. All of all of the
Yeah,
things.
yeah. I don't
That's
remember
what
nothing
you
else.
remember.
Yeah.
I'm crying. I actually have no words. We should just end the podcast right here and just end it like that. You don't even know how to make spotted dick. End of podcast. That's fucking
Damn,
funny.
it's so great. I want to know what you thought about Gabriella and Andre.
Man, first off, that shit was messy as fuck because girl, okay, first off, I have a lot of mixed feelings about Gabriella because I did not like the way that Kelly and Hannah tried to clown her. I was disrespectful. I did not like how they were making fun of her appearance, things like that. That was just
Toucan
weird.
Sam, they called her.
Yeah, that was
Rude.
weird. And then to like gaslight her when she said some equally as disrespectful shit back to you, like, don't talk about my mother. First off, she wasn't talking about your mom.
She's talking about you.
She was talking about you. It was just weird. Anyway, so there's that. I didn't like how Gabriella functioned at first in this relationship because she knew that Grace liked him. And of course, like Andre turned her down. But it was just the way that first she was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do anything because like I know that Grace likes him, and I don't want to be that person." And da da da. Da. And then next thing she's like, "I'm gonna go get Andre," and I was like, "All right, girl, that's not what you were saying 5 seconds ago, but cool." And then she starts making out with a client, and I was like, "I thought you were so hippy skippy with fucking Andre, like what the fuck?" And then she starts fucking him in the bed with somebody else in the room.
You know what my thing is? Like, why did we pussyfoot around? Because she knew she wanted him regardless if Grace wanted him,
Yes.
A. And B, you were out here clipping his toenails. I don't clip another man's toenails unless I am fucking. Why were
I
you
don't
clipping
even
his
clip my
toenails?
man's toenails. I pay for him to go to the beauty spot, not the beauty spot. I pay for him to go to the spa, to the nail salon, and have somebody else clip his toenails. Mommy, I will give you a $20 tip to clip my man's toenails and to scrub them shit. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I pay a nice little lady to do that for me. And
Do
sometimes a nice
it.
gentleman.
Not a
I'm
nice
not doing
gentleman.
that. And sometimes a nice gentleman. It depends on where we're at, but it's not gonna be me.
I would do it.
I'm
But
not.
like you
I'm
out
not.
here pussyfooting for what? Because
Pussy.
we know we're not gonna be here long. Like let's hurry it up. We know what we
Now let's
want.
hurry it up.
Yeah, like
But it's like, are you that desperate for sex that we're just gonna fuck one of our teammates that we've only known for 5 seconds? Like, I'm
I
confused.
mean, did you hear her throughout the show? How many times did she say she was horny?
She did say she was horny a
A
lot.
lot. A
She
lot.
did
I was
say
like,
she was
ooh,
horny a
man,
lot.
I appreciate the level of honesty, but you were saying it far too often and pussyfooting around
She
far
was
too much.
okay. It's just me, and this is not like a girl don't get your nut. This is more of a girl. This is where you chose to get your nut. Because for me, why are we having sex in front of other people? And this is not a Gabriella criticism. This is a Gabriella and Andre criticism. Because why are we fucking in front of other people? This is not like a hostel. Like this is not we're in our early 20s. Like why are we fucking in front of other? You're telling me you couldn't find like a hallway or like a different
Behind a
place,
tree.
right?
Yo.
Find anywhere else to
And
do
who
the
was their
do?
roommate? I think
Their
Steven was
their
the
roommate was
roommate.
Steven,
Oh, poor
yes. And
Steven.
Steven was like, "Thank God I take Ambien because what the fuck is this?" And I understand. Why are we fucking with someone else in the room who's sleeping? This is giving me real Jersey Shore job vibes. But like again, the Jersey Shore happened in like the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s or whatever. It
Mhm.
made sense. They were young, they were dumb, they were dirty. Like this is what we do. We don't do this now. Why are we still doing this now? Are we fucking other
Poor
people?
Steven, bro. He was
We're
probably in
not.
that bed like this hetero shit. Like,
Where
bro,
is the decency for your fellow
gone.
man to not fuck in front of them unless we having them join? Now, if you doing some cuck shit and you watching, like, sure, that's not even what was happening. It was just we just gonna fuck and he just gonna be over there sleeping. That's weird to me. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. That's weird to me, friend. It couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. And if it was me who was out here sleeping while these two people are having sex, I would have been throwing shit at them. Just get the fuck out of here. Go to the bathroom.
I would have been
Like,
pointing flashlights. Hey, hey,
yes.
I see you. And what's crazy is it's a twin size bed.
Now, see, what I used to do to one of my old roommates is whenever he was having sex with his girlfriend, I would play slap on my knob really loudly, and it used to bug the fuck out of him. He hated it, but I'm a menace, so I did it every time until he respectfully asked me to stop, and then I did. But that's how I give it up. Couldn't be me though.
That is wild, wild. Hetero behavior in
Hella
the
hetero
twin
behavior.
size bed. I was like,
Hella hetero
Lord.
behavior.
I feel bad for Steven though. Because Steven and Eric were beefing. And I have a whole different thing with Eric. Like, what's wrong with him?
Bro,
He clearly has
Eric could
ADHD.
be his own episode.
Eric could be his own show, his own show. Because you could just follow him around all day and it's either he's chopping wood or talking to goats. Like, you don't know what you're going to get.
You see, now Eric was weird because I didn't find him attractive until he started chopping the wood. And I was like, is this the heterosexual in me? Because I have a thing for men who chop wood. I don't know what it is about me and men who chop wood, but I love it. Other than that, it's like ill men. But as soon as they get an axe and there's some wood around, I'm like, men.
To be fair, he did look good. He did look good.
Good.
And he did
Good.
not need to be a chateau manager. He could have just been doing construction work the whole episode and
Honestly,
would
he
have
could
got
have
more
just
traction.
been the custodian man.
He was a good.
Like
He was doing a good job at that.
a porter. He should have been a
Mm-hmm.
porter.
Yep, porter manager. That fits Eric more than chateau manager because the way that he was trying to step on Lisa's toes, as if Lisa's not that bitch. First of all,
Right.
have you seen her husband? She turned him into a house husband. Like,
She really
like
did. She really did.
she's not even phased by your level of machismo chateau manager, and you're not going to step on her. She's that bitch.
No.
So it was Eric is a whole thing. Steven, I
Oh,
felt so
Eric.
bad for. He looked like he had walking anxiety in every scene.
Yeah.
And it was either expectations that he set for himself or challenges that he was having with Eric or challenges he was having for the team. And I think that he'll grow into a chateau manager role given the consistent experience. Like if he keeps doing this, I think it'll make a difference for him. I think that this was being his first thing, doing this sort of thing all the way to foreign land with a team that he doesn't know, made it challenging. But I think he
And
can be up
Eric
for it.
also made it really challenging for him as well.
Eric made it hard for everybody. Eric made it hard for Chef. Eric made it hard for Lisa. Eric made it hard for the guests. Like Eric was in his own world. He needs his own
Just
show
making things hard.
for less, and he gets easily distracted. He needed like Adderall while he was
I
in
don't
Buddy.
know if he even needed Adderall because that man does not need any more stimulant. He needed a sedative and maybe a nap. Like,
Several naps. I wonder if he was getting coffee.
I hope not. I really hope not.
I
I
feel like
hope
Chef
that
makes very fancy espressos,
he probably does with like chocolate or some shit in it.
right?
Like this.
Like those Instagram videos.
Yes. But Eric. And Eric was just such an airhead. Like, and it was just weird the amount of lease he had on him. And then when he started complaining about his divorce, I'm sorry, there's just so many things with Eric. When he was like, this is inappropriate, this divorce party. I just went through divorce. Divorce is not funny. Like,
He was in his feelings.
dude, are you okay?
In his feelings.
You need a hug. You know what it
Yes.
reminded me of? Remember when um was it Portia and Cynthia who that divorce party
Mhm.
for what's her name? What's her name?
Was it not Cynthia?
Phaedra.
Oh,
Oh, it was Kenya. Kenya threw the divorce party for Cynthia and Portia and Phaedra. And Phaedra was like, my marriage, it's not funny to celebrate the destruction of a black marriage and and I need a ginger ale because my stomach hurts. That's what it reminded me of. Like that's legitimately what it reminded me of. Like I understand that this marriage meant something to you and that it's difficult for you and stuff, but stop being a white blanket. Like,
right.
there are other ways to have dealt with your feelings. If you were uncomfortable, it's okay that you were uncomfortable. Like, marriage means different things for other people, and the way that a marriage ends means different things for different people. I think that if Apollo had not went to jail, they probably would have still been married. I mean, eventually I feel like Apollo would have fucked up in different ways, but I
Mhm.
truly believe that at that time they would not have gotten divorced if his behavior hadn't changed, if he went to jail, all those other things. So I can understand why she's not keen on um celebrating the destruction of her marriage and stuff like that. But the way that she treated Kenya about it was really fucked up. I think Kenya was genuinely trying her best to like raise her spirits and stuff like that. And it's very rare that I agree with Kenya. Like I usually think that she's up to no good, but at that time I felt like she was kind of trying. And so when Phaedra was like, yeah, like not only are they we celebrating the destruction of my marriage and it's this one who had a hand in it, I felt like that was a lot. And that's the same
It
thing that I
was.
feel about Eric was like, my guy, this has nothing to do with you. This is how this person decides to deal with the end of their marriage. Just because you don't feel the same way about the end of your marriage doesn't mean that that's the only way to feel about it. Calm the fuck down.
I agree. Another thing is out of Eric's very sad reminiscence of his divorce came Caroline having more camera time. And I didn't like
Yeah,
that because I only ever saw her in the light of talking about Eric or how she relates to Eric. I don't know shit about Caroline.
yeah,
And that's so unfortunate. And I mean, we don't know much about Anthony the chef either. And Kitchen didn't get that much screen time compared
yeah.
to servers. To be fair, the servers
Because
are
they were the
interacting
least
more.
dramatic. They did their job. They
That's
weren't
true.
out here drinking and fucking everybody and all kinds of crazy shit.
That's true. But I would have wanted some kitchen lore. I want to hear about Chef and what he's been doing, what led him here. or Caroline, because she seemed like she had such good character and sass, but you only ever heard her talk about Eric or who was talking to Eric and how she didn't like that. And I get that she was relating to Eric on a level that other castmates could not have, but you were really jealous over Eric out of all the people in this damn cast.
That kiss must have been magical, man.
Wow.
That kiss
Wow.
must have been really the kiss. This kiss, this kiss, unstoppable. Like that's what was going on in her head when she was kissing that man. What was it? Who's that? Shania Twain. She was just out here with the Shania Twain, man. She was like, "This kiss is perpendicular motion." Whatever the fuck she said.
It's a magical ass kiss just in the
Great
middle of
kiss.
France.
Great
Probably
kiss.
was. But I was like, that's all she gets, just Eric time. That's really what it
Yeah.
was. So I was wondering if they like cut things out or if there was really anything else because I
I'm
wish I
sure there
saw
was a
more of
lot
her.
of stuff.
Felt so bad. I've seen more from Grace the housekeeper than I did from from
That's
poor old
because
Caroline.
Grace was out here getting crunk. Like, don't fuck with
Out
Grace
here.
now. She was out here. And you know what I really liked about Grace is how like she talked about, I won't say struggles with femininity, but how what femininity means to her as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to other people. Because it's not my place to say whether or not she struggled with it, because I don't know if that's something that she actually said. But she did say that like, she doesn't do her makeup and sometimes she doesn't feel as girly as these other girls because they're out here doing their thing or whatever. And I think that was something that was really important to see because I think that, like, we think of femininity and we think of women who always get their nails done, always get their hair done, always have their makeup laid, da 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 da. And there are some women who just don't give it up like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in a place, especially in reality TV show, where you often find these highly made up women, it was really nice to see like someone who is still feminine presenting, is still, feeling her feeling like she's a woman and all this kind of other stuff, but doesn't necessarily show that her femininity doesn't she doesn't show that her femininity is the same as everybody else's. She can still
Mm-hmm.
be and feel like a woman, but not necessarily need to be made up, dress all nice, do her hair like everybody else, da 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 da. Da. And I think that it was really nice that everybody wanted to help her because I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, like you don't know how to do this, you're mad grown, da 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 da. And it's like they genuinely wanted to help. They wanted her to feel pretty when she asked for that and stuff like that. They wanted her to feel like, okay, like you can do these things and let me show you how. I think that was like a beautiful testament of like girl power and like what women can do for each other when we're not at each other's throats and shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was like a wholesome moment, and they were like, Grace, we're gonna make you look nice. Don't worry about you, girl. We got it. Was
I
cute.
get it. Because glam is intimidating. And if you
It
think
is
about how Bravo presents females just generally is all glam, all glitz, all money, all
all the
diamonds. Like
time.
it's just, especially Lisa Vanderpump, you have never
Mm.
seen her look disheveled. That
Never, and you will never see her look. Even when this lady is out here in the garden, I'm sure her gloves cost 5K. Like,
so it's different. And I appreciated the show because it had a good balance of community and chaos. Like you saw, even though I don't like Marciano as much, there was a bromance for him and Eric, or in the same way you're talking about Grace getting her community glam. Like those are so cute. But then there was also the chaos, which made it a really good show. And it also got me wondering because it's just so random from all the other stuff that Lisa has been doing. And she has another show with Gordon Ramsay as well, that's on
oh, we're
Hulu.
supposed to watch that.
Yes, we'll watch it because I definitely forgot what it was called, but it's on Hulu. There's a picture of Lisa, and there's a picture of Gordon Ramsay, boom, boom, right next to each other. And I think they're supposed to be like evaluating top businesses or top chefs or something. So we'll definitely watch that. But I just feel like
Love
she's
ourselves some Gordon Ramsay.
so
That is
great.
our booth egg.
I want to see him diss somebody and have her just chuckle in the background. I feel like
Oh,
they're
they low key mean.
right. Their wit is amazing. Somebody needs to
Yes,
get told off. I just need to
that
see
British
it.
humor is wild.
Hella rude. I think I might cry. It couldn't be me. But it also got me to thinking like Lisa's going on all these side quests on TV that's not just following her life. And I think it's because she's trying to like wind down her TV presence of her reality because Ken's getting older, she's getting older. I think that she's just trying to do the things that she likes, and then at some point she's gonna stop doing TV. I could see that for her. Like I could see her retiring from reality TV.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long she'd continue the chateau for, but she really, really, really liked the chateau. I think I've never seen her I only see her. Well, that's not true. She has a lot of passion, but her biggest passion is in her businesses, and this is
Yeah.
something that she's never talked about or done up until this show.
Yeah.
And she put her all into it, and it was great learning the stories of the people that were there, of the work that went into it, of the designs, of the plating. All of that was a beautiful, beautiful curation all around. I just don't see how she's going to do this for long. I think she might retire, in my opinion, but we shall see. The other thing that was a little off-putting because I've been watching Lisa Vanderpump since she was on Real Housewives is the way that they did the auto uh what is that called? The filter, the beauty filter. Did you notice that in the reunion?
Did we talk about that when we were watching the reunion?
I think
I don't know
so.
if Yes, we did talk about it. Yeah, because we were like, why does her face look like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
She is she was using a beauty or Bravo or Hulu or whoever. Not Bravo because it's not a Bravo, but production was using a
Yeah.
beauty filter on Lisa and it made her face look AI.
Yeah. It was really weird. It was
So strange.
super weird
So
because she
strange.
doesn't need it. Like
Nope.
she's Lisa Vanderpump. Like that woman is gorgeous.
And even if she gets wrinkles, she just has to tell these peasants they're my wrinkles and what? And they're gonna be like,
Right.
you're right.
Right.
And keep it pushing. You don't need that. And this is also like a part of my whole tangent about the person Bravo. The upkeeping of the lifestyle is at is so odd to me because they're either getting a bunch of Botox or now using beauty filters. And it's just, I don't think she needed that. That was the only odd thing for Lisa for me, but she was her normal awesome self, her normal caring self, her normal attention to detail self. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
She was also a bit messy. I appreciated it.
Right. Because I do miss her messiness. And I think to your point, I think another thing about this show is that she has much more control over it. I think for VPR, she's so much more removed because no one actually worked at her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And she had more of a hand in it. She had more of a hand of like things that were going on because these were her employees. Like these people worked for her at Sir. And now everyone has their own businesses. The only time that people really come to Lisa is for the drama, is for her advice and stuff like that. So I think here she still stepped back, but she can be a bigger presence because at the end of the day, you can't think of this show without thinking of Lisa Vanderpump. When you think of VPR, at this point, your first thought is not Lisa Vanderpump. Your first thought is probably Lala, Sheena,
Scandal.
Sandoval, Ariana. Those are the people that you think of because that's who the show is now. You're not necessarily thinking of Lisa. This show, even though the younger people are at the forefront, you know Lisa's the one that put these flowers here. Lisa's the one that made this menu. Lisa's the one that like did all these things. Lisa makes or breaks this. The people that she put here makes or breaks this. Whatever. So it's like that she still has like a strong hand in what this show is, and I think that she's missed that in a way of being in the background, but still her presence is still known at some point. And I think that's what makes the show more refreshing is because like at the end of the day, although the drama is great, I'm here to watch Lisa do shit. Like I'm here to watch Lisa talk shit about people, put a flower arrangement together, drink some tea, and run around her dog. That's what I'm here for. I could really care less about Marciano and his business. I just want to see Lisa Vanderpump do some stuff.
She does love
So
a good flower arrangement.
amazing flower arrangement. So I think the show is fresh. I think the pacing was good. Like you mentioned, I loved the stories, and I think that's part of the magic of the show as well, is that she picked such interesting people with such interesting stories and stuff like that. I personally would not go on a bachelorette with my husband, but that's what this lady wanted to do. And the events that they had were great. The ones that she did for the coming out party was great.
Loved
The
that
goth
one.
party was great. Like all of these little things I thought were just really interesting humans. Like it brought a level of like at the end of the day, this is not like a scripted thing. There's like people with like real lives and stuff that we're interacting with and that we're trying to create these beautiful moments for. And I think that's what made the show refreshing as well. Because as much as we like to say that these things are reality TV, let's be real, a lot of it is scripted. A lot of this shit, we all know that they filmed 15 times to get the best angles and all this kind of other stuff. They did it with Jersey Shore. They do it with all these other shows. We know this, but like you can't fake the you can't fake the guests talking shit about the servers. Like, why are they arguing over there? I think
Right.
that one is fucking the other one, but I'm not sure. Like, you can't fake. You want to go over to that corner and make out for 5 seconds? Like that, like that shit is wild and it's great and I love it. So it was really refreshing, and I really enjoyed this show. I would definitely tune in for season two.
Hmm.
I don't think Eric is coming back because of whatever the fuck happened. I personally did not hear about these like allegations that were set against him. Um,
Were they domestic abuse allegations?
I think there were SA allegations.
Damn, that's
Yeah, I think it
unfortunate.
was allegations. They said on the show that they were proven wrong. I didn't really do any research about it after I saw the reunion. I probably won't do any research about it because I don't foresee myself talking about Eric again. But I don't know. I felt like at first when they were like, "Oh, Eric's not gonna be here," I was really disappointed because that man is unhinged. But then when they said why, I was like, "Oh, makes sense." So I highly doubt we'll be seeing Eric again, and maybe that's for the best. He, like I said, needs a sedative and a nap.
Yeah.
Um, and I hope that them saying that those allegations weren't true, I hope that's what the truth is. I hope that's not something that he did because don't do that. Stop it.
Don't do
Bad, bad, bad,
that.
bad, bad. Don't do it. Leave people alone.
So if you were to pick who you do want back, who do you want back?
Chef and sous chef, Caroline and
Yes.
Anthony, hands down. Um,
I want Priscilla to come back. I know she left. She left, right?
she did leave, yeah.
I want her to come back, but without Hannah there.
Yes. No, girl, Hannah and Marciano weren't even gonna step foot into the country. We took away their passport. No passport for you. No, 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 not for you. Andre needs to come back because Andre, that
He's
man right
funny.
here, he seems like a sweet guy.
He's
He
a fuck
seems
boy.
like a mama's boy. He's a fuck boy AF. Like he is a fuck boy, and I'm intrigued because I didn't realize that he was a fuck boy until the very end, and I was like, "You done got me. You got me."
Right when Gabriella kissed that guy and he was like, I'm gonna let her keep guessing for a little bit. I was like, why
Yes,
keep guessing?
I was like, "Sir, are we toxic? Are you a sweet boy sometimes and a toxic man other times? Because that's how my man give it up, and I low key like that."
That's lit.
I like the Sour Patch people, sweet and sour. I like it. So Audra can come back. I have mixed feelings about Telly. Telly.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about her because her level of emotional dysregulation is wild. Like this girl be getting upset, and it's like, girl, relax. But also, I feel like she was good at her job. But also, I feel like she just didn't want to be there.
I don't think she did either.
Yeah,
I think
it's
at
like
some
what?
point she got, oh, I don't even want to say at some point, because even earlier on, there was always some reason for her not to want to be there. First, it was
Yeah,
Eric, then it was Emily, then it was other drama. Like there was always something that did not want, that made her not want to be there.
yeah.
But you were there and you decided to stay. don't know. I
So
feel
this
like she should come back to
dude,
redeem herself. It might have been a hard first
yeah,
time.
it may have been a hard first time for her. I don't get her vibe quite yet. I do like the fact that she had braids though. I
I did like
love
the
the fact that
representation.
she had braids. Have braids on TV. More black women need to have braids on TV. Like,
Hmm.
I love this. Like love the wigs, love the weave, all of that. But we need to see more locks. We need to see more protective styles. We need to see the Senegalese twist. We need to see the box braids. I want to see all of this. So I like the fact that she had her box braids for the season, and then when she had the reunion, she had her wig or the weave or whatever she had. But the fact she had her box braids and she had it all season, love that for me. So I'd be willing to have her come back. I still have mixed feelings about her. Grace, I liked Grace. I thought she was cute. Emily, I liked Emily. I thought she was cute. Gabriella, I'm not too sure. It's not that I don't want her to come back. I'm just not too sure who she is as a person.
Yeah, because her
I can't get a
whole thing was her and Andre. There wasn't like much
yeah.
else.
I can't get a handle on whether or not I like her. I
I agree.
tolerate her. I'm not angry when she's on the screen. Do I miss her when she's not on the screen? I don't think so.
Yeah, she didn't bring much. She didn't
Yeah,
bring much. So okay, so it's a maybe on Telly, maybe on Gabriella, hard nose on Marciano and Hannah, and
absolutely
yes is
not.
on yes is on everybody else.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if I had to choose between Gabriella and Telly,
I would choose Telly.
yeah, Telly was interesting at least. And it's not even that she's a maybe. I just don't know if she even wants to be there.
Well, it
That's
might
the
be an
thing.
attitude thing too, because like
Yeah.
she's Jamaican.
Yeah.
Jamaicans' attitudes are beyond anything
10
I've
gang.
ever seen, man.
Yeah.
Lord. So it could have
That's
just been
that
like, she's here to
island
be
life.
here. Yeah, but they like to complain. So
Mm,
they're complaining even when they're complimenting. It's just how they roll. So we don't
yeah.
know.
We know
But
a lot
wow,
of complaining Jamaicans.
so fun. Such a
It
good
is
time.
fun.
But it
Good
must be
time for
off-putting to people
you,
that aren't around it. Yeah, because my partner's Jamaican. He's Jamaican as fuck from the island.
fellow Jamaican.
So funny. Cleaning is his second favorite hobby.
Bro, it's his
So
first favorite hobby.
video games.
But he complains while he does the video games.
Oh, that's
So,
true. Yeah, it's just what they do. They like it. So for me, when I
yeah.
saw her on screen, it wasn't any different. I was like, I just heard talking shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she
Like,
likes to
I
do.
recognize this behavior.
It was good for me. So I didn't have no
Sleep next
problems.
to this behavior every night.
Yeah, it's a good time. So not too bad. I think it was a
Yeah.
good show. I'm excited to see another. We're gonna watch that other Vanderpump Gordon Ramsay one.
Yeah,
And
that
then
sounds
we're
lit.
gonna let you know how it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
we
yeah.
should. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, everything is kind of on hiatus and stuff. But yeah, so there's a bunch of things that we could talk about while everything is on hiatus. There's some behind the scenes drama that is happening. So that was the end of the episode. Thank you for listening in with us this week. Um, Hopefully we are more consistent in our posting, but knowing us, we all got all the type of mental illnesses. It probably won't be all that consistent. Um, so as always, stay safe, drink the water, touch the grass. It is hot as balls outside. So make sure you are staying safe out there. And we shall see you next week. Bye.
Bye, people.